Hey everybody, Asher here, back with RimWorld. If you missed the prior video where I did all the embarking and stuff and character rolling, you may want to start there first, but otherwise, this is the beginning of the playthrough. April 1st, the year 5500 AD. Outdoors is 36 degrees Fahrenheit in the morning. And what is going on right now? The three of you awaken your crypto sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you wake up in this unknown RimWorld, which a RimWorld, I guess I should explain that in the last video, is a world kind of on the edge of the galaxy instead of the closer planets that are closer together. There's no faster than light travel, so everyone is really far-flung and isolated. As pieces of the shredded ship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. So, you get your nice guitar riff, you get your people popping out, and what do we got? We have our three people, and more importantly, we need to do a quick survey of the area around us for a lot of different things. We want to find a good place to make a base. We want to find where the resources are. And we are playing in a temperate forest, so we are going to have a winter to speak of, and we are going to have some good animals. Temperate forest, probably the best place to start. Now, we do have a pretty good shelter here with just the mountains like this, but if I look around and everything, there are some key things to keep in mind. You want to have an area that is both defensible and also willing to kind of be able to be expanded upon. So one of the things you want to look for right away are where are the geothermal vents, the steam geysers. There's a few around here. There's one that's actually close to us, which makes me a little biased to move towards here because that is a great power source for later on. Also, if you look at the map here where the soil is darker, not here because that's mud, but up here you see the little summary in the bottom left-hand corner. This is rich soil. Very, very, very good for growing. So from the looks of it, we're probably going to be moving our base of operations up here. In fact, we're definitely going to, because that puts us right between two geothermal vents, and that's probably going to take care of our power for the game. Now, a few other map features to keep in mind before we dive in a little further is that you see this is not an uninhabited world. There's actually some old construction here before. In fact, there's what looks like a little goodie hut over here, and probably another closed up one somewhere that I'm missing on the map, like right there. Warning, don't just hop into the goodie hut and think you're okay. Now, some other things to keep in mind is you want to look and see what resources are kind of exposed. We have compact steel, compacted plastisteel, which is very important. Actually, a lot of steel on this map, which is very nice. And up here, we don't have quite as much steel. We have a little bit of limestone. So not as great for mining up there. But we may be able to dig through some of this rock and get to the steel pretty well. Like there's enough over there. So once we get a little bit closer in, we do want to go ahead and just double click, not the squirrels. We're not going to play with the squirrels right now. Packaged survival meal. You want to press F to select all those. We're going to do the same with the medicines. We're going to do the same with the silver that's out here, because silver is going to act as our money right now. Basic steel, basic wood, more meals. So the game gives you an opportunity to actually survive before you start. So we want to unforbid those. Take the X away. That means we can pick them up and put them in a stockpile, which so many of these games deal with kind of stockpiles here. Now let's look at our characters one more time. We have Lottie Webster with a shooting skill of 4. Andy Brown with a shooting skill of 7. It doesn't really matter much beyond 5. And Cato Myers with a passion for melee combat. So it looks like Cato is going to be equipping the plasteel knife. That's actually a really good get. Andy, our best shooter, is going to get the survival rifle, at least for now. And Lottie is going to get this thing. Now we also start with a Waddles, the Labrador Retriever. Actually, I've never started with a Labrador in this game before. Good dog to have. We are actually going to start obedience training right away. So we will get to that as well eventually. Like I said, first thing that we need to do is kind of figure out where we're going to put our base. Now the best way to try and do that is we're going to go ahead and leave from here. Going and setting ourselves about here, we still do have a little bit of mountainous area to try and fortify and let us play around here. But I do think the first thing that we need to do is just to drop our stockpile up here, which is the same as like many other similarly situated games. You just take your button, you make an area for a stockpile. This is just going to be a general, very large stockpile. You're going to see that we do a lot of stuff paused here in this first video, and that is very important for the setup. I'm going to turn animal names on, though, because Waddles is a great name for a dog. How old are you, dog? Waddles, age 5, so reasonably healthy, no health concerns to speak of. Yes, they do have health ratings and needs like everything else. So we do have our general stockpile. That's good. The next thing that we need, now this is our power source that we're going to be doing later, but the first thing that I want my people to be able to do as well is actually set up growing zones. So we do need to go ahead and set that up. We're gonna do a few things here in the beginning. We're going to set up some of our zones, and then we are going to see what we can do about assigning tasks. So I think 5x7 is pretty good for these plots. You'll note that I'm not going for the rich soil just yet. We're going to get there, but I don't want to overextend into areas that I can't reasonably defend. So if we have a growing zone here, and this is going to be a lot of our farm area in the middle. What I'm going to try and do is to make a base that kind of has a center area that I can funnel opponents into. Potato is good. There's different plants that you can grow, and they have different nutrition and light requirements and everything like that. Growing time in days. Each month is 10 days, by the way. Potatoes are a very good plant to do this with. Strawberries are very good. You can eat strawberries raw, which could come into play later. I also like to start off by making some cotton and getting that early because we want to get clothes in. And then very importantly is Zerigium. Zerigium is a medicine, is medicinal like herbal stuff. So in case anybody gets sick, we only have a limited supply of medicine. It's very important that we start growing it now because this is one of the slower growing plants in the game. So next step, we have our general stockpile here. I could make a dumping stockpile as well. In fact, that's probably better if I do that just over here. Just that to start with. So we have stockpile next to stockpile. Next up is going to be, you want to actually have 2 areas early. Let me go ahead and turn on my resource. I don't know what, oh, well, I haven't picked up any resources, so none of that's on yet. I'm going to start with a steel structure here. I know there's wood everywhere, and well, you know, we're going to build. We have wood everywhere, so let's start with wood. Okay, so we're going to build our first place, our first house to speak of. And it's going to be a humble house, but it's going to be our house. So same thing, but the door, furniture, same thing like I've done it before. We're going to go ahead and make 1, 2, 3 beds. Now the other thing that's pretty important here is that you do want to have a table right here. And you want to put some stools next to it. You'll see that I'm making them steel. We'll figure out why here in a little bit. So we have 4 places to eat. This is going to be kind of our living area until we can make something better. I'm going to make a second stockpile over here as well. And this stockpile, one of the really nice things about this game is that it's like Dwarf Fortress Light, so everything's very streamlined early on here. You see this stockpile kind of has everything in it. This little stockpile here, which is hard to tell unless you know it's put there. We're going to put it on an important priority. That means whatever we put here, we want to put it here first instead of there. And you hit the clear all button. Yay! And all we're going to do here is to put meals, like packaged survival meals or any other meals, or we get simple meal, anything like that. So that is kind of your starting point for this. There is another thing that we're going to be building here in just a minute, but the other portion that I need to do as we get, we're almost started here. We're almost started. There's a few things you got to take care of first, though. We're going to work on some of these things. Temperature is important. Spaceship, not that important. Orders are very important, and we're going to get there very shortly. We're going to deal with power, and then once this is built, we're going to have to start figuring out the other things. So you'll notice that I'm not putting structures right next to each other. I'm going to start with probably 2 solar panels right now, and all I'm going to do is just put some electricity from there to here. I like redundancy. This is a habit from Prison Architect, is trying to put electricity through my walls. So this will give us some power early, which means, of course, I forgot to put a standing lamp in here. Very important. They want lights. They want everything else. If we look at our characters here, like they have needs right away, and a little bit of pain. That's always going to be there because you have a scratch scar. But open space is good. Comfort, beauty, joy, rest, food, anything else. All kinds of things to look out for. I just got to check and see what is going on here, but we are going to be moving onto other things. Alright. So let's go ahead and just hit the unpause button, and we're going to let people... Oh, wait, no, we're not. One more very important thing. I'm so sorry. You can start with automatic priorities, but that's not how we want to do things. We want to do manual priorities. Higher priority tasks are on the left, lower priority tasks are on the right. What that means is that this is kind of a flow chart for people. If there's a task to be done over here, they do it first. There's 4, 3, 2, 1, and then not at all. Not at all means they don't do it. 1 means highest priority. So if there is a fire, I want these two to put out fire. Unfortunately, Cato can't actually do firefighting. Who's our best doctor? It looks like we have 2 decent doctors. So we can put these guys on there. If you are a patient, I want you to act as a patient before almost anything else. If I ask you to flick a switch, I want you to do that before anything else. And then we get to the kind of split off of tasks portion of this. So if you're a warden, warden is not super relevant early. I'm going to keep that as 2. Animal handling, not super relevant early. Cook, very relevant early. And we do have 1 good cook. So it looks like Cato, who's our scientist, is also going to be our cook. Looks like you're our best hunter, Mr. Engineer, who's also our best constructor. So we're going to try and put everybody that we can on construction, at least to start with. Repair, you're a sucky repairer. As we get dogs drinking now, because it wouldn't be me recording without dogs growing. So the herbalist, who doesn't have very high herbal skills, need to do that. Mining. So if there's no construction, you're mining. Mining's still very important. Plant cutting, very important. We don't have to worry too much about smithing yet, but we want to go ahead and see what we can do. Smithing, tailoring, artsing, not a lot of artsing to do. Crafting. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to need some other people to do things here, and probably you're going to be my designated hauler for now. And eventually you're going to be doing some research. It's going to be very important that, oh, that's a little bit of a bummer, is that one of our big handy... Oh, wait, no, you get to do the research. That's right. So the scientist does the research. It means our designated hauler is probably actually going to be you here. Because there's not always going to be stuff to do to grow. The other thing that we're going to need to do here, as we're just about ready to unpause here, is because this is a very annoying foresty area. Yes, that's right. Why would I call a forest annoying? You'll see in just a minute. We are going to just order to cut plants here. Lots of plants to be cut. We are going to go ahead and have these things all hauled. These are going to go to the junk stockpile for now. Probably don't need that many. I just want to clear out kind of the immediate area. And is there anything worth mining over here? Looks like marble, limestone. There's compact steel. Good. We do want to get this early. Steel is very important. Are you steel too? That's lime. Okay, well, we'll get some limestone as well. Sure. Because we do need some basic materials to build things with. And we're going to need to dig into this wall in just a little bit for reasons that you will see. And hopefully the not too distant future. We got to be careful though. We don't want to crack that open right away. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and let's mine out this area too. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, kiddos. All that just to hit unpause. Now we could go normal speed. You're going to see that a lot of this playthrough is everybody's getting equipped here. As we have waddles. Oh no, I almost forgot about waddles. This is how I killed something in the last of my test playthrough. Architect, furniture, animal sleeping spot over here. In fact, you know what? Let's just go ahead. Because it helps clear the floor pretty well. Let's go ahead and let's at least smooth the floor for now. What? Oh, well, I guess it's rough stone, so I can't do that. Wood floor, then. We have lots of wood around us. Now, while this is all going here, as we're going to have people needing beds, people needing all kinds of stuff, as we move everything over to the stockpile, Andy's actually already starting to build, which is great. Lottie's already starting to grow. Cato is hauling steel, the power conduit, which is all very important. We are going to go ahead and start planning our next building. And this is going to be our second really, really important building. Now, let me see here. I should have... thought I had my resource notifications up. Okay, well, apparently because they're not sitting in stockpiles yet, we'll get that. So let's go ahead and cut all these, chop all the woodses as best we can. And like I said, she's starting with cotton. Not my favorite thing to start with, but that's okay. We are going to speed it up here in just a minute, but first thing I need to do is to go ahead and start planning our next room. And this is probably the most important room of this episode, more important than even the beds, and that would be our first cold storage area. Because as we get food, food will spoil. Actually, I think I did that just a touch incorrectly. Maybe we can just make it work this way. Now this room is also going to have two other things that's very important. It's going to have a cook stove in it, which we can put the cook stove over here. And it's going to have a butcher table. It's going to have a wood butcher table. Now these things are very important because it lets us prepare food. We are going to go ahead and put a stockpile in it as well, and we're going to make this stockpile a little different. This room is going to be expanded later on. But let's clear everything. Let's call this an important but not critical one here. And we're going to put all the raw food here. And we're going to put, not every chunk, or we're going to put animal corpses here. Not human corpses, just animal corpses. So any raw food that we can get, meat, vegetarian, animal products, it'll all go in here. So Waddle's still kicking around, which is good. Everybody's building just a little bit. Now, we do have some growing zones and everything as well, but if this is going to be a cold storage room, there's a few things it needs. First, number one is a door. Doors are very important, but more importantly, we need to deal with the temperature here. Now this is something where, if you've heard of a guy by the name of Blitz Kriegler, who also has a good who's been helpful for me in sort of helping develop my channel anyway, but also has some good videos on this game as well. One thing that he points out that is a very nice thing to do is to go ahead and try and put 2 of these in here early. These are going to be coolers, and this is going to make the room below freezing. Of course, you have to set them to below freezing, but putting 2 is better than 1 for reasons that hopefully will become apparent. Once again, we're doing the redundancy thing here. We're actually going to be fairly low on steel here pretty early, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Not all starts have everything that you want in them. We are going to go ahead and just order, because we want to get the plastisteel, at least if not to work ourselves. Let's see. I feel like I should know. Compact steel. Alright. I feel like I should know what these blurbs look like by now. And just because it's on the edge doesn't mean it's not behind there either. So this is also compact steel. So it's fair. It's decently close. We'll be able to cut this out eventually. Alright. As I thought there was a little less here, so that may even be closer than some of this stuff over here. So as we need steel, we can get steel. But yeah, Waddles, everybody's wandering around. It's 18 hours. Now we do have restrictions that we could set for people. I'm going to go ahead and set them all to work for most of the time during the day, but not all day. And the bedroom's actually almost done. I don't know if we're going to get it in time. But if we look at our different people, like I said, this is one of the first times. This is the first time I've played on this level of difficulty. So they had social chats, which is good. It's very nice to have that instead of people being abrasive assholes. New colony optimism, low expectations. You can see food, rest, joy are all going down. We do want to give them a reason to be joyful here in a little bit. In fact, let's go ahead and put a horseshoe pen right here so they can play just a little bit. Kato already building the next thing. It is raining, and it is 53 degrees outside, so definitely a nice cool April rain. We still don't have any power. And I guess it's going to lead to the next building I need to build here, which I was hoping to... we're going to do it as a wood building, I guess. And we're going to keep it just off edge a little bit here. And in case you're wondering, I am intentionally leaving just a small gap between my... stuff. There's a really valid reason for that hopefully we can get to before long. Mainly that for combat and everything, you want to make sure that you have room. So here is this room, and this is going to be kind of our power storage area. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be good. And while we're here, let's go ahead and build a comms console. I like to put that in the power room. However, we can't really do it this way, so let's cancel you. 3 batteries are good enough. Alright. Interesting that we're not building our power generator first. So everyone is sleeping in the cold dark. You can see even Waddles is sleeping. We don't have a medical bed yet. Andy doesn't really have a place to go. So we do need power. I am going to go ahead and build a wind turbine. Knowing that wind turbines can sometimes be a little rough. Because if anything grows or gets in the way of them, it's going to be an issue. Although one thing that you can do that doesn't get in the way of wind turbines is solar power. So if I put it here and turn it this way, we should actually be okay. So we'll let that build too. Like I said, we need some steel. Poor Cato all the way out here. All the silver, all the meals. May need to prioritize some hauling here, but we are asleep. You'll see that Cato's going to get a pretty significant mood penalty because he's sleeping in the cold on the ground, sleeping outside. Look at this, 15 mood, 8 off the ground. That's why it's so important to get all this stuff here together early. But let's go ahead and speed it up just a little bit. So that's day the 1st. We have our stockpile that's not being used because this is a little bit of a walk compared to what I have here. We have a few buildings here. We have a power storeroom. We have our cold storage that's going to be a thing in just a little bit. And once again, I'm a little weirded out. There we go. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know why some of these things aren't showing, unless it's just we're literally grabbing it off the ground instead of storing it here still. But Lottie, growing potato plants, they only grow during the day. We have cotton that's growing, which is very exciting. And our food is eventually going to be able to be stored in here. So we do actually need power this time, guys. So we have 3 beds. Yay! That's positive. And already it's getting to be the afternoon. Almost after dark. We don't have a lot of stuff left. And we do kind of need to haul some stuff here. So let's prioritize hauling for just a little bit for everybody. As everybody's in here, notice that they may be inside, but we are still going to get some penalties for this. Like Lottie is slept in the cold, slept in pain, or in a little bit of pain, 8 off the ground. We're going to probably get disturbed sleep in just a little bit. Yep, disturbed sleep times 2. Because somebody walked in and out. So they're talking, which is good. We're auto-saving, this is good. Meal source. So we're actually out of food right now. Andy, what are you doing? Going for a walk. I need you to prioritize hauling this. And Lottie, I need you to prioritize hauling the medicine. Which actually in our cold storage, I like to store the medicine dues too. So that's under manufactured. And all the medicine, because medicine can overheat in the hot heat. So now we're just looking here. Who's our main constructor? Andy. Really? Let's see here. Already constructing solar. Good. Andy. Need materials. Okay. That's going to be a little bit of an issue if we need our power here in just a minute. But you see, you'll notice here that these rooms got a little bit darker. That's because they got a roof over them finally. So right now, steel is our first kind of challenge here. Oh, we have silver ore as well, which is pretty good. We have our little stack of meals here. 6 survival meals. We'll look around the map in just a minute here. Who's our best miner right now? Our best miner is probably going to be Andy as well. So what's Andy trying to do? Andy's cutting a tree. That's very nice of you, Andy. But I need you to mine some steel. And who is going to be our hunter? Andy as well. Well, we have other people who can hunt too. Does Lottie have our gun? I can't remember yet. Lottie has our gun. So I think I'm going to put her on hunting as well and see if we can get some of that here. Like I said, part of the issue is that everyone's going to be just a touch cold. But we can go ahead and start looking around the map and seeing what else we have here. That's actually some pretty significant resources. We have all kinds of animals. They're all sleeping out here. Ewes and bucks. Which, be careful when hunting them because they will all exact revenge. We have a sleeping turtle because we like turtles. We have a little bit of goodies here. And here, oh, Crashville's great. It looks like you've been here for a while. Lottie suggests you give this colony a name. Let's call it Crashville. I was going to come up with some original name myself, but Crashville is way better than anything I would have ever come up with. Now, if you look around the map, sometimes there's, yeah, see, like right over here. All these survival meals just sitting here from pods that are here before us. We're starting to get some things in our warehouse stores. We have some silver and a lot of wood, and we need defenses. Defenses are actually going to be a big deal here because I don't have steel quite near me, as we're just looking around the map to see if there's any like steel just sitting on the ground saying, please pick me up. We are going to, like I said, we're going to need some steel because we do need to build defenses. We need power to power those defenses. I have anybody else who can mine. Okay, Andy. Hauling steel to cook stove, that's good. Did I just leave the steel on the ground? Yeah, let's get that too. Alright. So there is steel just here. Alright. Very nice. Just walk through the bucks. Now, this is the other part. Wooden butcher table. We're just going to add a build, butcher creature, and instead of doing X times, we're just going to do it forever. Anytime there's a creature to butcher, we get it. This room is now available. We have some more steel to put together. This thing, which still needs power. And we still don't have a lot of steel, so Andy's going to be hauling some more here. Let's see if I can get him to prioritize building a solar panel. Build power conduit. Let's try, well, solar generator. What do we need for a solar generator? Need 100 steel. Okay, so Lottie, I think you're pretty good. Instead of that, let's prioritize hauling. Where'd all that steel go? 39 steel. Alright, pretty good. So there was some map steel anyway. And it's late now, so we do need to get defenses up very soon. And we have our first visitor, which we can jump to location. So people know we're here. Our value's relatively low, only 10,000 monies here. And he's an archer. Now, visitors are like anything else. Sometimes you can recruit them. Sometimes they're in desperate need of help. Oh, gosh. More steel. Thank you. All right. So there's just resources on the map. How many survival meals is that? Oh, that's a lot of meals. All right, good. So we're still sitting in the dark longer than I'm used to in this game. But hopefully everybody can get here pretty soon. Relaxing socially while everyone else is asleep. Oh, that sounds about right. Now we are going to go ahead and build one improvised turret. We'll put it right... We don't want to kill our crops, so we'll put it right up here. And we'll put another one. We want a little bit of overlap, but not too much. We'll put it in our stockpile. Okay, so everybody's here. We're really prioritizing building this before we have any power to do it. So, some steel! You're building batteries! That's exciting. I want you to build this, though. So he's grabbing all the ground steel, which is exciting enough. We have 75 steel from somewhere. I think we can do it, guys. As everybody's just hauling now. Haul, haul, haul. That is our job today. Because we need to not be spread out so much. So, oh, look. Solar generator just in time is Gerbear laying down. Visitor from Gray, whatever's leaving. And I guess we can turn off hauling in just a few. As I said, we have so many places we gotta go. Uh-oh. Here's our first kind of encounter. Now, like I said, Cassandra Classic sets all kinds of things up for this. And we have a local tortoise has gone mad, and there it goes. It is a mad tortoise. It is a manhunter attacking Kato. Oh no, where's Kato? Kato is over here, and Kato is our melee. We do not want to melee the tortoise. we're going to go ahead and draft Kato, which sounds just like drafting in Dwarf Fortress. So we have a mad turtle that's coming. He's so mad. He's not even sleeping. You need rest, Mr. Turtle. Oh, look, another survival meal. Cool. Look at all these meals. Meals for days. We have 16 package meals. Now this would be nice if I had a turret. So we'll let you sleep for now. Mr. Waddles can try and help too. Where's our angry turtle? Manhunter moving. Oh wow, egg progress. So she's going to lay eggs pretty soon. And we have our first sign of defense. Now right away we let's see, we want our pistol out. We want to bring you over here. We are auto-saving every year, so let's go ahead. Oh good, I'm glad we're firing on the turtle already. There we go. Now you'll see Andy is doing what? Cloud watching. Well, Andy, I have a turtle for you to shoot. Now, it is possible for you to shoot your own people, so we're going to try and avoid that. Oh, once with the survival rifle. Kill shot, and we can do this. Now, actually, are these powered yet? Yes, they are, so we can go ahead and turn these down. Right now, they're at 70 degrees. Freezing, for those of you not familiar with Fahrenheit, is 32. We're going to turn these down to like 24 and 22. That way, they don't have to both run at the same time all the time when one thing is up. So this is as good of a place as any to end it for now. This recording session went a little long, so I'm going to cut it up into a few parts. But this is Asher with RimWorld. I'm excited. It's a fun game, and I'm happy to share it with you all. Feel free to check it out. Leave your thoughts in the comments. For sure, hit the like button if you like it. But otherwise, thanks for sticking around. I look forward to seeing you all next time.